Hi everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of the Ungrownups video transmission. I'm your host Mark, and today we're going to be taking a look at the newest release in the Batman Unlimited line. This is the Batman as designed and created for the Beware the Batman cartoon that airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Cartoon Network. It's definitely a darker, edgier cartoon. Some people say it's in the style of Chris Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. Sometimes it does feel like that, but it is very much a Batman cartoon. It is a very sleek, very well-designed character. Love the tallness, the sleek slenderness of the character. You can't really see the bat symbol on his chest. That's kind of a sticking point with me, but I love the way this guy is designed. You can see here on the side, got some nice piece of character art from the show. Spinning around here on the back, you can see another big piece there. As seen in the animated series, Beware the Batman. I really hope that they, whether they threw the Batman Unlimited line or whether or not the line gets picked up on its own, I would love a line of figures from this show. I love this show, and if you've been following Ungrownups.com, you've seen we've actually reviewed some of the episodes. So it's a fantastic show. I don't see many accessories, if not any, so that's going to be another big bummer. So let's get this guy cracked open and just see how cool he is and see if he comes with anything else. Okay, here we have the Beware the Batman figure opened up out of the package. And what you see is what you get. One of the really cool things about this show is the gadgets he uses. They're a modular system, so different handles fit on different guns, different canisters do different things when they're connected to his pistols and his grappling hooks. If you're watching the show, the gadgets do play a really cool part. It would have been really nice to at least have his gun that he uses. I'm not a big fan of the weapon design on the show, especially the guns that the other guys use. But it is what it is, I can't do anything about it. So it would have been nice to have that, considering that they did mold his hand to where he could hold a gun. But if you're not going to include any accessories, at least make the hands sculpted in a way to where they don't need them. Like make one a fist, make one, like he's karate chopping or something like that. This hand is sculpted open, so that's kind of cool, but, without there being any accessories, I really do wish there had been a fist and a karate chop. I don't know if you can see this, maybe you'll see it a little bit better when we zoom in, but there is no molded bat on his chest. It's just a black-on-black paint app, which it looks really nice, and in hand, you can see it very well. You can see it's got the very nice, very striking design on the bout belt, on the utility belt. And as you can see, very tall, lean, limber arms and legs. This guy is surprisingly well articulated. I really love the articulation on this guy. And as you can see, he stands up pretty nicely. He is kind of top heavy, and you will have to futz with him just a bit to get him to stand up, which doesn't bode well for posability, as, him being as articulated as he is. But we'll take a look at that too. Spinning around here on the back, you could just see that it is a molded plastic cape. I would have preferred a cloth cape. I think that would have helped with the upper body weight, but it does look nice, and it looks very scalloped. The cape looks great on the show. If you've seen the show, you've seen it up close. It has that very fine texture, very reminiscent of Tim Burton's Michael Keaton cape, the '89 Batman cape. It has that texture to it, so there's a little texture to it when the light hits it just right. So why don't we take a look at the our articulation on this guy? Okay, as far as the articulation goes, this is not your standard DC Universe Classics buck, so we're definitely going to take the time to look at the articulation. The head is on a ball joint. Well, not necessarily a ball joint. It is, I don't know what this would be called, more like a pin socket, almost like the shoulders are, but it does have a fair amount of tilt, so you can get a really nice looking up pose and a pretty nice looking down pose. So I really do like that, and it does go all the way around. And I really dig this head sculpt. It's spot on from the show. The arms are on massive, massive pin sockets right there at the shoulder. You can see just how big that arm actually is. So you've got 360-degree movement, and everything is out of the way to give you some really nice range of motion. You have a pin socket, of course, at the elbow, and the hands rotate, and I don't see any flex joints. No, just a rotation cut joint at the hand. You do have a cut joint at the waist, which is always nice and welcome, and for once, no ab crunch, which I'm actually happy about. I would rather a figure that is this well detailed and this sculpt, the way that it's sculpted to match the art style on the show, I would prefer this not be broken up with an ab crunch. You got some very nice DC Universe style leg articulation at the hip. This almost looks like a soft rubber diaper over the articulation point at the hip, which is nice. And you've got a pin socket knee, so you can bend and do 360, which is very nice. No rocker motion, but you do have a pin socket at the heel, so you can point the foot downward. So that's very nice. Like I said, very well articulated figure. Really like the articulation on this guy. Just wish he would have come with some accessories or maybe some different sculpted hands to help offset the fact that he doesn't come with accessories. So why don't we zoom in, take a closer look at the head sculpt, the symbol on the chest, and the detail of the utility belt. Okay, zooming in here on the head, you can see the very finely detailed, I say finely detailed, there's not a lot of like tiny detail in the head sculpt, but it's finely crafted to match the art style of the show, which I like. The ears are a little uneven. I would have preferred, it looks like this one's a little taller than this one. I wish a little more quality control on that would have been paid a little closer attention to been paid to that. But overall, I like the way the show looks. I like the art style. I would say it's a very highly stylized Bruce Timm style. It looks really good. Bruce likes the long ears, so I know he'd be proud of that. And I'm trying to tilt this so you can see the broad, huge bat symbol on his chest. It's just barely coming across on the back of the camera. Maybe it's coming across much better on the actual video that you're watching. You can see here the detail of the cape. It does look like something's missing on there on the front, but it's not. That's how the cape, the belt, that's how the belt looks on the show. It's, a highly stylized bat. But very nice. I like the black and gold being broke up. It looks very, very reminiscent of the '89 Batman costume, like I said earlier. Just an all-around really nice Batman figure. I can show you some of the detail in the boot. It's, there's not a lot of detail in this guy, but what's there is really nice and very reminiscent of how the art style on the show is. So I'm very happy with the overall look of this guy. And let me lift up and show you the back, the belt in the back. Not much detail there, but there it is nonetheless. So, final thoughts on this guy. He's pretty fantastic. I have only just watched the newest episode. There are 6 episodes out so far. So far, there's not a lot of mainstay villains. It's been a lot of villains that I'm not that familiar with. So you're not getting any Riddlers or Jokers or Penguins or Catwoman. It's been Anarchy and Professor Pig and Mr. Toad. We did just get Metamorpho in the last episode 6 called Toxic. Had Rex Mason and Metamorpho in it. So I don't care whether or not they continue this in the Batman Unlimited line or if they do an offshoot. As long as they're in the same scale. Sorry about that. As long as they're in the same scale, I would very much like for this line to continue because I do like this show very much. I like this iteration of Batman, and I wouldn't mind having some more characters from the show on my shelf. So that's going to about do it for the Batman Unlimited Beware the Batman release. If you dug the video, please like, comment, or subscribe. Please be sure to join the conversation over at facebook.com/ungrownups. You can also follow our Twitter feed, and be sure to check out our podcast, which is new every 2 weeks, over at ungrownups.com or iTunes. Peace.